All right. Does everyone have 4.5.4b?
Is this the same work that we did?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yesterday we talked about a parabola is a set of all points in a plane which are an equal distance away from a given point and a given line. The given point is called the focus, and the given line is called the directrix, right? The directrix is perpendicular to the axis of symmetry. Now, if you look at this graph that we have here, it actually is not what we saw yesterday because it's a horizontal parabola. So with horizontal parabola, your parabola is facing to the right if it's positive. And this axis of symmetry is x equals, right? Y equals a value, I'm sorry. And everything you see here, it's the exact same concept, just turned 90 degrees, right? So for the horizontal parabola, you have your two types of horizontal parabola. You have one that is centered at the origin, 0, 0. And if it's centered at the origin, then the equation that you follow is, notice it's x equals 1 over 4c y squared. The focus is c, comma 0, and the directrix is x equals negative c, okay? If you have a vertex not centered at the origin, that means you have an h and a k value other than 0, 0. You're at x equals 1 over 4c, y minus k squared plus h. Notice that your k and your h have done what? Switch places, right?
Wow.
Because you're now a horizontal parabola instead of a vertical parabola. Okay? Nope. Just gotta understand. Same concept, just x and y have now switched roles. So x is now your dependent and y is now your independent. Okay? So your focus now is h plus c, comma k. And your directrix is x equals h, comma c. Okay? Now, horizontal parabola. Its standard form is x equals ay squared. And we know that a for parabolas is 1 over 4c. Same thing from yesterday, right?
Okay.
The only difference again now is that x and y and h and k have switched roles. Good? All right. So we're going to start with level 1 problems again, okay? So we have, what is an equation of a parabola with a vertex at the origin and a directrix x equals 1.25, right? So my vertex is at the origin and my directrix is x equals 1 1/4. So there we go. All right, so we're going to identify our C, and to find your C, we're going to use the directrix. And remember, it's your directrix for horizontal is x equals negative c. So for the problem that we're given, our x equals 1 and 25 hundredths. If they're both equal to x, then that means that they have to be equal to each other. And so therefore, c equals negative 125. Correct? And our h and k in this problem, because it's at the origin, h equals 0 and k equals 0. Because h and k are at the origin, I know that I am using the equation x equals 1 over 4c y squared. I'm going to plug in for my c. And so I have x equals 1 over 4 times negative 1.25 y squared. If you and 4 friends each have $1.25, how much do you all have? $5. So my equation is x equals negative 1/5 y squared. How do we feel? Feeling it? All right, example 2, go for it. I'm gonna give you 60 seconds to do. Okay, so in this problem, just because our directrix is a fraction doesn't change anything. Nope, not at all. So still using our directrix rule, which says that x equals negative c, we know that negative c equals negative 5 halves. So c equals positive 5 halves, or you can write it as 2.5, right? And we know that because it's at the origin, h equals 0 and k equals 0. So the equation that we're plugging into is x equals 1 over 4c y squared. So we have x equals 1 over 4 times 2.5 y squared. So you should have gotten 1 over 10 y squared. How do we do? Good? All right, level 1 completed. Cool? All right. Level 2. So here it says it wants us to find the vertex, the focus, and the directrix of a parabola with the equation x equals 7/500 y squared. So they're giving us our equation, and we want to find the information. So the first thing we're going to do is write our equation as a fraction. So we have x equals 3/4 y squared. We agree? All right, so identify our a value and use it to find our c value. What is the a value in this problem? A equals 3/4. Just like yesterday, a equals 3/4 in our equation, and the rule for a is a equals 1 over 4c. So I can set those two things equal to each other and do what to solve? What kind of multiply? Cross multiply. I'm going to cross multiply, and I get 3 times 4c is 12c. 4 times 1 is, I'm going to divide by 12. So c equals 1/3. Why is it 1/3? Because I can reduce. I can simplify, right? All right. So define the vertex k comma h. I don't know why I wrote the vertex switch. My bad, guys. To find the vertex, when I look at my equation, is there anything being added or subtracted to it? Nope. So my vertex is simply 0, 0. Because there's no values being added or subtracted. To find my focus, it's my c comma 0. And what is my c? So it'd be 1/3, comma 0. And then to find my directrix, it's x equals negative c. Well, c is 1/3, so x equals negative 1/3. All things have been found, the vertex, the focus, and the directrix. How do we feel? Okay, now we're going to transition from being at the origin to level 3. We're going to go straight into level 3. I don't know what I was thinking, guys. In the equation, but not on the, not X and Y as a coordinate ordered pair. Ignore me. I don't know what I was doing. I was. I was working late, so. What is the equation of a parabola with the focus 2, -3, and the directrix x equals -4? Okay, so we are trying to find our vertex. So to find our vertex here, we need to find our h and our k. Well, we're given our focus and we're given our directrix, right? So we're going to use this information to find h and k. The easiest one to find is our k. And the reason why we can find k is because we find k using our focus. You use the focus to find k. And the reason why we use the focus is because it's h plus c comma k. So whatever the y value is, whatever your y value is of your focus, that's your k. What is the y value of our focus? -3. So what does k equal? -3. All right. H is going to be a little different. So if you remember example 6 from our notes yesterday, where we had to set up and solve a system, it's going to be the same thing for solving for H today. Okay. So solving for H, we're going to use the focus and the directrix. So starting off with our focus, the x value of a focus is h plus c. Agreed? Do we see that? The x value of your focus is h plus c. So we know that h plus c equals the x value. What is the h value of my focus? 2. Okay. Next, we're going to use the directrix. So using our directrix here, we know that our directrix x equals h minus c. So h minus c equals our directrix. What is our directrix? -4. So what did we create here? A system. And how are we going to solve this system? What do we say? Elimination. So our c's eliminate. We're left with 2h equals -2. I'm going to divide by 2. So what does h have to be? -1. So h equals -1. So we found our vertex, our k, and our h. Now we're going to find our c. So we're using this from our focus. H plus c equals 2. So we have h plus c equals 2. Well, we know what h is. So -1 plus c equals 2. Gonna add 1 to both sides. And we get c equals 3. So we now have all 3 variables. And now we can plug all 3 variables into x equals 1 over 4c times y minus k squared plus h. So that gives us x equals 1 over 4 times 3 times y minus negative 3 squared minus 1. 4 times 3 is 12. A negative times a negative is a positive. And that would be our final equation of our horizontal parabola. I clearly made the box for step 1 and step 2 the wrong sizes. I don't, my bad. But this should seem very familiar to what we did on example 7 yesterday. Was it 7 or 6? 7 was example 7. Questions about example 4? All right, example 5. So it wants to know, what is the equation of the parabola with a vertex at 3, 7 and a focus at 5, 7? Okay, so we're going to identify our C, our H, and our K. So identifying our C, our H, and our K. To find our C, we're going to use our focus. So to find C, we're going to use the focus. And again, guys, what was I doing? Okay. I don't know. I'm still laughing at myself. Who knows? I actually wrote Y. What was it? We're going to use the focus, and the focus is H plus C, comma K. Remember, it's X equals H minus C. All right, so vertex is 3, 7. So we know that our H equals 3 and our K equals 7. Are we comfortable with that? Okay. Our focus, so our focus, we have 5, comma 7. And the rule for our focus is that we have H plus C, comma, pen doing things. Yay, it's a strange morning stuff. H plus C, comma K. And everything should line up. So when I look here, is this a true statement? Does 7 equal K? Yep. So therefore, 5 should equal H plus C. So we have 5 equals H plus C, and we know what H is, and H is 3. So 5 equals 3 plus C. So C has to equal 2. So we have everything we need. We have our H, we have our K, we have our C. So we're going to plug into our equation. X equals 1 over 4C times Y minus K squared plus H.
Do we really even need to substitute the X for 3? I don't know.
What do you mean?
Because you said 3 was the X, right?
It's your H. You're just plugging in exactly where it goes.
Okay.
Yeah, you just plug in exactly where it goes. So we should end up with x equals 1/8 times y minus 7 squared plus 3. Again, simple math with new vocabulary. And that's that. Horizontal parabolas. Questions, comments, and concerns, let me know.